afternoon, lovely people. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome to February. Oh my goodness. Are you feeling the same as me that January just disappeared? I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. The weather. We were either frozen or we were wet. But I will say, not so much that I couldn't harvest, which was great. Not so much that I couldn't have a garden through the winter still, which is great. I'm so grateful for that, because I know there are loads of you who are still under snow, goodness me. So here we are, beginning of February. It could get colder again in February. The British weather is such that January and February usually are our cold months. Occasionally, even into March, we can have, well, we had the beast from the east 3 years ago, didn't we, at the beginning of March, all that dumping of snow. So, you know, in many ways, where we are today, it's kind of, this is it, this is the middle of the winter. The garden is looking at its saddest, its tattiest. Actually, it's not. March will be even sadder and tattier. But it is beginning to look really worn out, really bedraggled, really hammered by the weather. But there's still stuff growing. So, come on, let's go and see what's left to eat in the garden and how the late autumn sowings of garlic, broad beans, what else went in? Freesias. Oh, let's check on the peas today as well. The peas and the sweet peas, which were sown a month ago. Right, giddy up everyone. Put your wellies on. It's really wet out there. And please, as you're walking around the garden, do be careful because it's really, really slippy. I know, because I've gone flying this morning already. Right, got your wellies on? Come on then. I have to say, one of the lovely things today is that it's very, very still for once in my garden, and there is no howling gale. So here we are at the top bed, as always. All these calendula along the front edge, they're all pretty much done in and gone over. But you know what? They're providing a little bit of habitat. The roots down there are keeping the soil sort of open, as it were, rather than all compact and mashed down. Yay! Oh my goodness, this Limnanthes douglasii, the poached eggplant, is rampant. I'm going to have a little bit of it out. I'm going to have some of this out where the path is, tame it a little bit. Next job, get the tree lily out. If there's enough light at the end of doing this, I will give it a go. The verbena, it's got itself really nicely established now. But you remember me saying about not removing any of the blooms, not tidying up too much in the autumn. And the few times that I have been to the garden in sort of January, this has been covered in goldfinches. Beautiful. And look at all this lovely new growth that's starting. Wow. Wowzers. Okay, so yes, making notes of jobs. Next job, tree lily out. Oh, my collie's gone sideways. I did have one last little curd, which I ate. And this I'm keeping now just for the leaves. There's not many left on there underneath. Some curly kale. The very last of the curly kale now. But there's enough, you know, there's enough to see me through another couple of months or so, combined with all the other brassicas. But you can see with, say, on the cardboard, I think I was mentioning this, I can't remember if it was January or December, but where we've had so much rain and worm activity, a lot of the cardboard is now gone. So I have been gathering up lots more new cardboard. The first lot of the cardboard, bringing you around really quickly, is going to go here. The last of the calendula, again, the roots are just left in there now just for a bit of soil protection. But I'm going to clear this bed in the next few days and have out. There's a few left. You can see. Oh, you look like you might be a nice one. No, I can see you're forked. yeah, just have out the last of these parsnips. Oh, look at those two having a cuddle. Yeah, get the last. It's not a priority job, but it is a job I want to get on with pronto in the next week to 2 weeks. Get everything out, get it mulched, get it covered. So I have now got the cardboard for it. What I don't have is any mulch. As you will have seen the other day, that's the blue bag had all the leaves in. I emptied that for the garlic, so I need to refill it, get strimming. This was the random brassicas. They really didn't do very well at all. I've harvested what I could, and well, you can see now they're out of the ground, those two. But that one is trying to give me a few sprouts, so I shall leave it in and let it have a chance. And at the moment it's a case of literally any organic matter I can find, so some leftover leaves, just chuck it on, get this soil covered. I don't like bare soil. I need to feed my soil. The perpetual spinach, still going crazy, fantastic, loving that. The little teeny tiny frise seedlings that Mark gave me, well, they're not growing. They're not growing, they're not disappearing. Perhaps as we start to get a little bit of warmer weather, longer daylight hours, they might spring into action. Likewise, these broad beans I sowed really late, these were mid-November. They've come up and they've halted. So they really haven't been doing much for about a month, but they're not dead. Again, for so many of these little plants, it's all about now getting a bit warmer, getting more daylight hours, and then they'll leap into action. I've still got masses of chard. Such a great veg, it keeps coming and coming and coming, and like I always say, it's such a delight to have these colours in the garden in the middle of winter. Behind them, the purple sprouting broccoli. Now the purple sprouting broccoli is being a bit of a tease because right at the end of December I noticed the first few sprouts coming, and I got excited thinking, wow, I'm going to have a really early harvest, because one wouldn't normally expect to harvest from purple sprouting until end of February into March, and that's why I plant it, because it's a great follow-on once all my other brassicas have given up the ghost. But I saw all these sprouts coming and I thought, whoa, early harvest. But again, they've just pretty much stopped in their tracks as we've had this kind of cold snap in January. More to come, more to come. They're getting there. I think in another, well, depending on the weather and the temperatures, but maybe in 2 or 3 weeks I'll have some off. We are now, well, we're due a couple of cold nights, but daytime temperatures now should stabilise around about sort of 8, 9, 10 degrees centigrade. So they should start doing their thing. Oh, so chuffed to get this done. You'll have seen this the other day. The garlic bed mulched, and I'm really hoping that feed and a bit of air and light perks them up. I'm not unduly worried about them. You know, they're okay when you consider what they've been through for the last few weeks in terms of cold and wet. I think actually they're looking pretty good, but they could look better. Hopefully the feed will help. Okay, celery. Celery again, it's another one that just keeps coming and coming. It's beginning to look past its best. You can see there's a few leaves in there that are browning. But all that means is when I harvest, because I'm a bit fussy, I harvest a big bunch, any that are a bit brown or manky looking, just chop them up and put them in the compost, because honestly there's so much here to take from. And just like last year, I will be choosing one to keep, to leave in, to go to seed. Actually, I haven't really had a thorough look yet to decide which one, but I'm thinking this one here, because I have harvested a lot from it and it's been really healthy and vigorous. So I'm thinking of all my plants, that's my strongest one. So it makes sense for me to take my seeds from the strongest plant. Still got a bit of fennel in. I'm going to harvest those soon. They're not very big, but 2 or 3 will make a nice meal. Well, it will make 3 or 4 meals, but all cooked together. Like the frisée, this is the fennel, the Mont Blanc fennel seedlings that Mark gave to me. And again, they're not really doing anything. They're not dying, they're not keeling over. There are signs of growth. Let me show you close in with this one. And you see this lovely sprig in the middle, that's new. And you can see they are all sprouting, these new bits of growth. And this one, it's very obvious. It's like a little bottle brush, bright green bottle brush. So again, I will be interested to see how they start to put a spurt on, hopefully, as daylight hours increase, temperatures increase. And it may be that it's not so much one to think of as, oh, getting a harvest over the winter, which is what I thought when he mentioned overwintering fennel, but rather to get an early harvest next year. What will this bed be next year? As in this year. I'm suddenly back in 2020. This is going to be a squash bed. That's great because the squash won't get planted until the end of May, beginning of June. So these have got another 4-5 months to do something. Well, fingers crossed they do something. We'll see. Another covered bed, more cardboard. Oh, I've pretty much given up on the very late sowings of these 2 brassica beds that are under the nets. The odd leaf here or there, but they're really not coming to anything. You know what though? I just leave them be for now because they were heavily mulched. The beds are covered with the nets, so the soil hopefully isn't getting destroyed by the weather. Just leave them be and have the odd leaf here or there. The Cavallo Nero behind, that's still going great guns, although it is looking like it's trying to sprout. So I've nipped out a couple tops because I don't want it to sprout. Not just yet. The broad beans that are completely unprotected, you know, they've had an absolute battering from wind, rain, a dumping of snow. So they look a little bit meagre, but again, there's life in them. You know, they haven't given up. They're still trying. And then underneath, obviously I've still got just a very few carrots left. Just a teeny tiny handful of carrots now. And a few more through there. I'm going to try a few different things with my carrot seed sowing this year, based on what happened last year and me not wanting it to happen again. Oh, I told you it was slippy. Yeah, they just went in too late and then they got massacred by the pigeons and they've never really recovered. But like I said, I don't need this bed anytime soon. They were heavily mulched. I don't have any spare mulch for them now, so they might as well just sit as they are. Right then, broad beans over this side. I haven't even had a look at these yet. Not for a few weeks. So this lot are the direct sown. Wow, they're nearly at the top of the tunnels. They are looking really good. I'm definitely thinking that I'd prefer direct sown over self-sown if I can guard them against the mices, because these self-sown ones are definitely a little bit leggier, a little bit weaker looking. I mean, they're okay, and I'm fairly sure I'll get a harvest from them. And again, like with all the other little things I've looked at this morning with you, this afternoon I mean, daylight hours, warmth should perk them up. But you know what, they're okay, they'll do for now. And even the little 2 on each row end that have had no protection Isn't it amazing that these plants can manage, even when they've been absolutely half drowned and snow dumped? Goodness me. No change here, no change here, more cardboard needed. I mean, look, this cardboard has disappeared so quickly this year. I suppose I got it down a bit earlier, didn't I? Crop and drop, crop and drop, crop and drop. It's a case of literally whatever organic material I can get my hands on, just get it on this soil. I'm just coming round. Oh, I'll show you the back of the cold frame first, the little Taunton Dean cutting. This is doing perfectly well. Looking very healthy and happy. It's growing, but barely perceptibly. Again, once we start to get warmer and more daylight hours, that should get away. But the main thing is, the transplant took, and putting it out into the garden, it hasn't keeled over. Yay! It's always about, is it surviving? Did it not die? If it's not dead, I'm happy. Coming around into the cold frame. So this first tray, sweet peas, none of them are showing. But I don't know if you'll be able to make it out. Let's see if I can, oopla, get you in even closer. So it's got, can you see? Yay! The peas are sprouting. Oh, fantastic. I'm actually, because I had some left over, I'm going to sow some more elsewhere on another day. I'll show you that when I do it, but I will be doing it quite soon. But I'm chuffed to bits to see those have started at least to show. Oh, the herb bed is looking a bit bedraggled. I think I mentioned the hyssop seed heads have all gone over now, so they can have a bit of a trim, a bit of a prune. The French lavender I'll leave a bit longer. It's actually not supposed to be winter hardy in the UK, so I leave the pruning till the last minute just so it's got a bit more protection. But again, as you'll have seen the other day, I'm starting to mulch this bed. Oh, let's have a little look at emerging bulbs. That's such a happy sight, isn't it? And then I spotted another one. Where is it? Oh, oh, it's such a joy, isn't it, to see new growth at this time of year. Wunderbar. So I've got most of the, no, I haven't got most of the bed mulched. I've got chunks of the bed mulched. You can see it's sort of carrying on around here. That was left unmulched on purpose because I'm going to dig a hole and put something in it. Hopefully this afternoon, if the light doesn't disappear. But yeah, it's good to get this first bit of mulch on. There's a little bit more there. But again, I haven't done it here because that rhubarb's coming out. Oh gosh, I need to do that really soon. It's got a new home to go to. But yeah, it is a bit of a bedraggled sight, isn't it? Oh, I wonder if there's any. Oh yes, yes. Can you see that? Oh, wonderful. Oh, this is just one of the most wonderful things in the garden, isn't it, at this time of year? Looking really carefully and spotting, I can see one little tiny one there, spotting these first signs of new life. Oh, that really is a joy. It doesn't matter how damp it is, how cold it is, to see new life emerging. Oh, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Such a wonderful joy. And speaking of new life emerging, let's see how the freesias are doing. Oh yeah, loads coming up. There's not as many come up as I planted, but at least there's a few. And then in the little trough next door, the sedums are really popping away now. And again, they're sort of interplanted with freesias. Oh, happy day. Happy day. Oh, that basket. This is a basket I loaned to our share table where we share produce and harvests. It went missing. It went missing. I don't know who had it, but it's been returned. So I'm going to keep it over here for now. The honeysuckle cuttings, how are they doing? Yes, look, all these new shoots. Wonderful. I can't wait to plant those. Under the tool there's the other Taunton Deans, which are gifts to friends. Oh, now the blueberry. Oh my goodness, this seems so early to be doing such giddiness. It's a mass of buds and it needs a prune. But I'm waiting for guidance. I'm waiting to Cliff at Castle Hill was mentioning that he was going to do a blueberry pruning video, so I'm waiting to see what Cliff says, and I'll copy him because he is he is the granddaddy of the gardens, isn't he? But yeah, so many. Look at all these little buds. Life, beautiful life to come. Wonderful. No change down here, of course. This is the little bed I've got ready. So there is some rhubarb in there. Let that come back. The honeysuckles are going to go at the back. This verbena, I actually can start cutting these back now that the seed heads have been used up. And then, as I mentioned, maybe 2 or 3 little plants of flowers to go in the front, to make this a little bright, cheerful spot in the summer. Gosh, it is muddy and soggy though. I'm just giving you a moment with the bird song. So yeah, there's still stuff to eat. There'll be things to eat right through till about end of March, maybe just into April. Obviously by which time I will have started new seeds. So by the beginning of April it will be a bit, it will be a bit rations, but then hopefully by the beginning of May, and it's the whole idea of doing the overwinter broad beans, hopefully by the beginning of May I'll start to have some feeds from that. So yeah, it's, we're a couple of months off the hungry gap, and that's why we store so much of our produce in the summer and the autumn, isn't it? But I'm chuffed. I am chuffed to have so much in there still to eat, and really chuffed to see all the beautiful new signs of life, the new life to come for this year. Yay and hooray. Well, on that note, my lovely friends, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I hope you're managing to spot little signs of life in your gardens too. Celebrate each and every one of them. Until next time, please look after yourselves and your beautiful new shoots of life. Cheerio!